Miles Morales versus Carnage. These two haven't met up since the Absolute Carnage storyline, and now that Miles is beginning to learn his powers a little bit better and even create electrical swords, it's time for Carnage to get back on the scene with his own Carnage Iron Man suit that he acquired in his own run of comics. This is Comicstorian. We make audio dramas to let you keep up with today's comic books. And today we're going to be bringing you Carnage Reigns Alpha and Miles Morales Spider-Man number 6. It's a good book. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. A few cop cars gather around the corner diner, with the sergeant on the scene quickly calling in for backup. I don't give a crap about the traffic. That's what sirens are for. We've got Cletus Cassidy in there. Send every team you've got, she says into her radio. Someone looks up into the sky and shouts as Spider-Man swings down, landing on the roof. But Miles has faced Cletus before. Memories of when he was overtaken by the Madman during the Absolute Carnage event fill his mind. I better go in dark. Give myself a fighting chance. He thinks to himself as he goes invisible, his camouflage hopefully protecting him from a surprise attack. He begins to sneak through the halls of the building, unaware of the twisting walls behind him that show Carnage's face. Outside, a SWAT van screeches to a halt in front of the diner, and Agent Gao gets out. She motions to her men, who are packing extremely heavy firepower. I want everyone looking the part out there, guys. Slick, professional, and above all, lethal. She calls to her men as she takes charge of the scene, ordering Sergeant Ahmed to push her people back as the hulking villain steps out of the van. Inside, Miles is sneaking through the shadows into the diner, but he stops suddenly as the lights come on and he sees several people sitting and eating. The cook looks up in annoyance. "I'm trying to run a business here. Would you mind getting your paw prints off of my ceiling?" he growls. Miles drops to the floor, confused as to what is going on, but he is called over to the corner, where a bespectacled man sits. "I hope you don't mind, and took the liberty of ordering for you. I'm Ken," the man says, and he motions to Miles to sit. "Hey Ken, you mind telling me what's going on here?" Miles asks, sitting down, pushing away the plate of French toast that he is offered. "I'm afraid Mr. Cassidy didn't share the particulars of his plan with me," Ken tells him, but Miles can't sense Cassidy getting out of the booth behind him. Cassidy's jaw elongates as he opens his vicious mouth wide. "You smell different than the other bug. Less tragic. Let's see what we can do to fix that!" Cassidy suddenly growls as he lunges forward, biting into Miles' shoulder. Miles screams as he feels the jagged teeth biting deep into his flesh. Meanwhile, outside, Gao turns to the villain as he gets out of the van. "Are you ready to go to work, Scorpion?" "Yeah, I watch your Team 6, Agent Gao. But I'm telling you, I'm here for one reason and one reason only. And that's to put an end to Cletus Cassidy." Back inside, Miles shoots a web into Carnage's face, grabbing a hold of him, throwing him over his shoulder. Carnage snarls, ripping the webbing clear. "Were you raised in a barn, Miles? Didn't anybody ever tell you that it's rude to come between a man and his meal?" Miles tries to leap away, but Carnage's tendrils lash out, slamming him through a wall. Miles is shocked as he looks up at Carnage's new suit, which basically looks like he threw up all over Iron Man. Struggling to his feet, Miles turns his head as a cook tries to get his attention. "Bro, you gotta help. My name's Dominic," the cook hisses. Miles moves quickly, grabbing Dominic, pulling the man to safety. Meanwhile, in the diner, Ken motions to the hole in the wall. "You're not letting him leave, are you? Is that a part of the plan?" And Cletus just smiles. "I'm not letting him leave. I'm baiting the hook," Cletus tells him as he turns his head, sensing Agent Gao's team entering the building. "I do believe another course has arrived," Cletus says as he licks his lips. The team pushes through the entryway, weapons up and ready, but someone is whispering to them from all around. "He's here!" The point man shouts as Cletus seemingly springs off of the walls, his symbiote growing around them. It pulls away their weapons, stabbing and slashing across them. The team tries to hit him with sonic weapons, but it just pushes Cletus back. Gunfire continues to erupt from the team as Scorpion comes rushing in. "Hiya, Mac! Good to see you back on your feet, pal!" Cletus says with a smile, and Mac tries to hit him with his tail, but Cletus appears behind him, slashing him across the face. "No hard feelings about our last tussle, right? Don't they say that forgiving is divine?" Cletus asks. Mac roars in anger, his tail lashing around until he realizes that he's all alone. He looks up to see Ken sitting in a nearby chair, watching the fight. "Huh? Thought Cassidy didn't leave any survivors." Max says, but Ken explains that he isn't a survivor, that he was once a serial killer that believed himself to be an autiste. But he realized that Cletus was the true artist. He's about to paint his masterpiece, Mr. Gargan. I'd urge you to run, but he's already here, Ken says, drawing Max's attention as Carnage is sneaking up behind him. Meanwhile, Miles is leading Dominic to the roof. In the floor beneath him, he hears the gunfire, and Max eventually screams in pain. They continue to move forward with Miles kicking in the door to the roof. Come on, we gotta go this way! He leads Dominic to the edge, blood still dripping from his wounded shoulder, and he tells Dominic that they're going to have to jump to the next room. Trust me, Miles says, holding out his hand, which Dominic reaches for. But Dominic's hand suddenly twists into the Carnage symbiote. If you insist, he says with a smile, slamming Miles into the ground. Miles struggles up in shock. Cassidy? He gasps as Dominic shifts into the red-headed psychopath. Miles shoots his webs, dragging Cassidy to the ground, but another has appeared, slashing him across the back. Hey, Miles, you ever feel like you're out of your depth? He says with glee. But Miles refuses to give up, trying to punch out. But Carnage catches the blow, opening his mouth wide to finish off Miles. Peter, I'm sorry. I tried. Miles thinks to himself, knowing that he has reached his end. But Scorpion is there, slamming Cletus away with his tail. Get off of him, you freak! Max snarls, and he turns, helping Miles up. You did real good, but you gotta tap out now, Mac tells him, and Miles is simply confused. Why are you helping me? He asks, and Max smiles. Honestly, I wasn't planning on it. I thought you were the other Spider-Man. But he suddenly gasps as blood begins to spill out of his mouth as Carnage's tendrils stab through his stomach. Carnage lifts him into the air, more tendrils stabbing through him. Good. I'm sorry. It's all on you. Scorpion gasps as Miles struggles up, electrical energy crackling in his hand. You don't know when to quit, do ya? Carnage asks with glee, but Miles leaps forward, slamming his Venom Strike into the power core in Carnage's center. Sparks begin to fly as Carnage screams in pain, dropping Scorpion. What have you done, kid? I'm gonna get you for this! Peel you good and slow! He bellows, and on the streets below, everyone looks up as the building suddenly explodes outward. Everything tumbles around them as Miles and Mac drop to the ground. The building is crumbling, covering them in debris. And after a few moments, Miles looks up. Is everyone okay? Are we good? He asks Scorpion, and Mac growls at him, explaining that there isn't a web and they aren't working together. He looks up as the debris begins to shift around him. Wait, what's that sound? He asks, and Miles rushes forward, pushing Scorpion away, catching the building as it continues to fall apart. He gasps, trying to hold it up. Scorpion, my guy! Don't think I can hold an entire building forever! Open to your pitches right about now! Miles yells as more debris begins to push down on them. The ground begins to fill up with water. All right, I got an idea, Scorpion says, swishing his tail back and forth. The tail then lashes out, grabbing Miles, pulling him free of the debris before it can squash him. Thanks, man. You had me going there for a minute. Miles tells Mac that they need some help on this one, and the two begin to pick their way through the destroyed building, arguing over what they should do. They eventually come across an EMT who's trapped beneath the rubble, but Mac moves, stopping Miles. Are you stupid or something? Cassidy already got us with one symbiote switcheroo. I'm not taking no chances on that being another Cletus freak clone. But Miles stands in the way, insisting that they need to help everyone that they can. Meanwhile, topside, Agent Gao is staring at the massive crater that was created by the building exploding. She sighs, knowing that they can't allow Carnage to escape and continue to kill. She rubs the bridge of her nose. Every second that we waste is another potential body that Cassidy catches, she says, and reaches for her phone, tapping a button. Send them in. Back in the crater, Mac finally agreed to not killing the woman, and with a growl he turns, continuing to go through the rubble. The woman thanks Spider-Man for saving her, and they get back to work trying to dig it out. They find another survivor, this one a member of Agent Gao's team, and Max steps forward to attack the person again, but Miles again holds up his hands. Dude, we've been over this! Mac quickly agrees this time, and the trio continue to help getting the debris off of the agent. Water is pouring steadily down on them now, with Miles aware that they are going to be completely submerged soon. He glances around, finding a massive sewer main. Alright, I got our way out of here. He insists on Mac breaking the water main, filling it up with even more water so that they can use the pressure to get them out of the crater faster with it. You got some stones, kid, I'll give you that, Mac shouts, and they all shoot up into the air using the rush of water from the sewer main to rapidly fill the space, and they all land on the streets above. Agent Gao moves forward, quickly ordering the police to arrest Spider-Man. Oh, come on, man! Miles snaps as electric cuffs are slapped on him. How many times do I gotta save the day before you're gonna give me a break? He asks, and he turns to Mac, hoping the criminal will stick up for him. Actually, ma'am, I think we could use this runt. He did good back there. Building going boom wasn't on account of him. It was all Cassidy, Mac tells her. Meanwhile, the EMTs are trying to take a look at Agent Scott, the other survivor, but the agent suddenly transforms before their eyes. Bacon's back on the menu, boys! Carnage snarls as he rushes to finish off the captured Miles. Cassidy can duplicate himself now? Agent Gao asks in surprise. Miles rushes forward, breaking out of his own cuffs. It's more like he can possess folks, Miles shouts, and as he's about to fight with Carnage again, a blast of energy and arrows hit the symbiote, dropping it to the ground. Miles is confused, looking back at the newest members of Agent Gao's team. Sorry, where are our manners? Let me introduce New York's newest anti-vigilante task force, the Cake Killers. Taskmaster tells him, motioning to his team of Electro and Hightail. Hiya, kid. Long time no stab. The team then quickly moves forward, defeating the symbiote, dropping it to the ground. Agent Gao turns to her team, explaining what Miles said about Cassidy taking over various individuals and creating possessed clones. And she ends it with explaining that that's why Spider-Man is going to be joining them. Miles tries to argue, but Gao looks at him. Here's your options, kid. My Cape Killers can cart you off to jail, or you can be their little symbiote whisperer, and I'll consider it time served. Now, where is Cassidy hiding? But far below the city, in the symbiote hive known as the Spire, Cassidy is sitting upon a throne looking at Kenneth. What's the point of that stunt? A little sleight of hand. Spider-Man couldn't help but come to the rescue, and while he was distracted, we were able to slip away, unpursued. To do what? Hide? Lick our wounds? No. Spider-Man is going to pay. But first, whatever he did was messing with my suit. I gotta sort it out. And when I do, this whole town's gonna remember what it's like to have Carnage's claws at its throat. And that concludes Carnage Reigns Alpha and Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 6. This is some kind of weird crossover that they decided to put out around the Spider-Verse movie. I don't really know, but I also want to let you guys know, I was listening to a Megalovania remix playlist during this whole thing. It's all in the Doom song. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you like and subscribe as we're going to continue to bring you more Spider-Man, more Batman, and all of your favorite superheroes. And if you want to know more about Miles, click the link down below for the full story, which involves his evil version of himself called Ultimatum. I'll link you that storyline. And I'm also going to link you the video where Miles gets brand new powers. They're okay. They're pretty cool, but you should check it out. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.